Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining us again on Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show. And our guest this week is Dustin DeHart with Keller Mortgage. So we're going to talk mortgages. That's
Yes,
pretty awesome.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and Tiana's back with us again.
Yes, and Trish, you're here all the time.
I'm here all the time. So Trish Williams, Tiana Carroll, we're your host. And Dustin is going to bring us some mortgage news. But before we get into that, let's talk about our numbers for the week.
All right, our numbers, we always come back to these. I've seen a little bit of a change, but not much as far as the numbers go. We're holding pretty steady, 7,786 single-family homes on the market right now. And we've had some price reductions for 1,784.
Down 200 since last week in price reductions.
Okay, so we had this conversation yesterday. I was seeing that in certain price points, I was seeing less inventory coming on the market. Yeah. So it seems like the flood that we were getting of inventory and the price reductions is sort of starting to level out. People are starting to realize the new value of their home down that 7-8% that we've lost. And then our price reductions are now, the homes coming on the market seem to be priced effectively now, and then we're not getting a big flood of homes.
Yeah, and those people are starting to just narrow down. We're seeing less of those sellers that wanted to get their home on the market to cash out before anything went down. And
you missed it.
Most of them have withdrawn already.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of withdrawn. Are you?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of properties, especially, and this has all been since just Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend, I haven't seen much in the way of price reduction since then. I'm not seeing a lot of inventory come on. And the ones who are at the top of the market who just thought they were going to cash out and move on, they're being withdrawn. So some of those homes are gone.
Yeah, well, they weren't truly motivated.
No.
So what are you seeing there with the higher inventory? What are you seeing from the mortgage side of things?
Well, it's been craptastic, to say, for lack of better words. Yeah, it's not been fun for the mortgage industry. We had, two of the best years we've ever had and probably ever will. So it's kind of was like New Year's Eve, right? And we all woke up hungover and said, oh, crap, what happened here, right? So, we'll go into interest rates here a little bit. But, yeah, they rose. We all know that. But the velocity that they rose to, we weren't expecting that, this quick, this high, and that's obviously pushed purchase volume down. It's the lowest we've seen since like 1999, which is crazy. We're down pretty much half compared to last year. So, look, it's just, the refinance opportunities are pretty much gone unless you need to pull cash out, right?
Yeah, who would be refinancing at these rates?
And then, there's a lot of buyers sitting on the fence because of what's happening. And, look, it's certainly been a big shift, but it will get better, but it might get worse before it gets better. And then, we just have to kind of weather out the storm.
Yeah. I think we're in a time right now where everything happens a lot quicker. And everything in life.
Well, that's just life, right? Yeah. Technology has propelled us.
Yeah, you get your Amazon delivery in 1 hour. And with that, this quick, everything happens fast life, I think that we'll be out of this. This cycle is going to be very short. Hopefully, that would be awesome. So in news headlines, we had a review journal was talking about homebuyer confidence keeps falling. That's a given. Right. We already know that that's happening. Home builders logged 434 net sales and new contracts minus cancellations. That's down 61.5% from this month last year.
Yeah. I think builders are having a hard time out there.
Yeah. Well, they are. Look, they're doing what the market is doing, right? So they're pulling less permits. There's buyers that are freaking out. Now. As a buyer, like you to attest to this, builders are giving out incentives, right?
Oh, yes.
But then, the good old tricks where they weren't paying you, right?
Now they're paying us. They're paying us well.
Yeah, you should remember the ones that weren't paying you commissions, but it's funny how we did a quick 180. So, yeah, look, they're going to throw at the red carpet to get the buyers and pay closing costs and all these amenities. And, look, there's deals to be had. And, when things normalize, they're going to be the quickest ones to pull all those back, right? So
Right.
you're kind of give and take, you know what I mean? But, they're just adapting to what the supply and their demand is right now, so it's less permits. But, yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, the builders are definitely feeling the brunt of this, and buyers are scared, I mean, I know that a lot of them were qualified at a certain rate, right? And then
Right.
it's taken forever to build the house, and now they don't qualify, and now with how high rates are, that's, if it takes 9 to 12 months to build a house, I mean, it is a scary proposition to get into a new build contract right now, for sure.
Right. The builder's only chance to keep that buyer, if the buyer's priced out because of the rate, their only chance to keep that buyer is to change the price.
Certainly.
Yeah, they
And-
have to make those adjustments, and some of them have.
Yeah, some have, some will. And we'll get into rates soon because the Fed met yesterday.
Yes,
and
they did.
Dun, dun, dun.
we have great news for you.
Come on, we all knew it was happening. It's not like a
Yeah.
big surprise. We
Yeah.
were fully aware.
Tech lending companies, Compass, iBuyer companies, all of these companies have been reporting consistent layoffs. We're seeing a lot of this. Do you have any insight on that as far as is this the market changing? Like you said, refis, I can only imagine all of these Quicken Loans and all these companies that have a huge refi business over the
Yeah.
last couple of years. They don't need all these people anymore.
No, well, yeah, the mortgage industry's had huge layoffs. There's probably more coming. I mean, volume's down literally like 80 to 90% with some of these companies. But yeah, with the iBuying companies, I mean, this was easy to see, right? So, here's my bulk buying like that. Just that model doesn't work, right?
It's a weird model.
It is,
No-
and it
no
certainly
doubt.
doesn't work in a down market.
Nope.
So, look at Zillow. They tried. They lost billions of dollars.
In a good market.
Right, exactly. I'll take the true real estate professional over the algorithm every day, and that's proven to be the case here right
Right.
now, right? So,
Quickly becoming our favorite guest. I
Yeah.
just want to point that out,
no,
Dustin.
but look at the hedge funds, though, and the tried and true investors that go to the courthouse and have done this for years, that buy and hold and then sell at the right time. Those will who prevail, right?
Yeah.
This model, for lack of better words, is stupid, right? And
Yeah.
I don't think, and not only is it failing, and they're caught with their pants down.
Right.
I don't see. I'd be hard pressed to see them coming back. Where the hedge funds, who are very smart at this, know what they're doing, right?
Right.
And back when 2011, when median home price was 100,000, they were buying everything because
Yeah.
they knew. That's literally so low, it's going to only go up, and they've
Right.
rode the storm. But yeah, these iBuying companies are in for a world of hurt, as well as the true real estate professionals like you, right? And people that got in this, last 2 years thinking this was so easy. It's not that easy, and this is
Right.
what we're seeing. There's a huge shift with everything, and we'll see who makes it out of all this. And I don't know. My vote is the iBuying companies are going to have a hard time getting through this.
Well,
agree.
right now, Open Door, one of the companies, the iBuying big companies, which I'm sure everybody's heard of, they're now selling homes less than they bought them for.
And that's usually not the financial model that they signed up for. Right? That's-
Hard to make a profit that way, kids.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm sure they are going to get a great tax write-off for it. But
Yeah.
that is, again, just like you said, if their model was to purchase those homes and hold them,
Sure,
they'd
they'd be all right.
they'd be profitable in the end. How many times have you ever talked to a home buyer that says, "Gosh, it was such a horrible decision for me to buy a home 10 years ago"?
Yeah, that never happens.
That's never a bad decision. Over time, it all works itself out. But the people that are buying to turn around and flip instantly are going to have big losses, and it's showing. So,
Yeah, we're seeing it with my investors and stuff too. Nobody's doing the flip right now.
right?
Yeah.
Not unless I can get them a really great distressed property, and I'm talking like, I don't know, 125 to 135 a square foot. Find
Yeah.
those.
Not a lot of those out
Nope.
there, though. That's the
Nope.
problem.
Yeah, they're looking for the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
So let's talk about the Fed. They met
Yeah.
yesterday, and that was wonderful. So what
We probably
happened?
pay a little bit of attention to the Fed, right?
Yeah, a little bit, probably too much than I need to. But, well, let's first talk about a misconception, because a lot of people think, even in our industry, like they hear, oh, the Fed's raising rates, right? So they think that means mortgage rates
Mortgages.
are going up with
Yeah.
them, right? So let's just clarify that first. The Fed, when they raise rates, that's their Fed funds rate, the overnight rate.
Right, bank getting the money.
Right, exactly. So it's what they're lending to banks that lend to us as consumers for credit cards, home equity lines of credit, car loans, stuff like that, right?
Correct.
Now, so it doesn't directly impact mortgage rates. Like they don't, whatever they do doesn't, but whatever they do does influence them, right? Now, what they're doing, why they're raising this rate is they're trying to curb inflation, right? To make things more expensive, to get demand down, right? And the last time, remember when we saw the rates started to go up and everybody was freaked out? And they did a 75 basis point hike, I think it was June 15th.
Yes.
And that shot rates down, right? But since August, they've only gone back up. Now, yesterday when they did this, did well for the mortgage-backed security markets. Well, meaning they didn't, rates didn't go up, right? And most of the experts thought today might be a good day, but the Fed, like they always do, they do things in a knee-jerk reaction, and their prognostication for the future didn't sound great, meaning they don't think they have control over this, right?
So, they're still trying to get control of the road.
They want to make sure there's zero buyers. When we hit zero in sales, they'll be satisfied.
And without things literally saying
accomplished.
a recession's coming or we're in one, they basically said it, right?
Yeah.
And because the fact that we don't think the Fed has this under control yet, that spooked mortgage-backed securities and bond markets, and we had a really bad day for interest rates when we thought we might have a good day. And now we are literally tipping into the 7% range for mortgage rates, right?
Yeah.
Now,
it hurts.
It does.
That's painful. And so just for people out there that don't understand how this works, and this is the way I always explain it to, buyers or whenever I'm talking about rates from my inexperienced point of view, because I'm not a mortgage lender, but it works like the stock market.
Sure.
So rates will fluctuate daily.
Every day.
Just like the stock market does, depending on all of the other factors that go into it. So when someone calls and they say, hey, what's the rate that I can lock my mortgage in, or yesterday someone told me it was this, well, it could most definitely be a different number yesterday than it is today, because that's how it works.
100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Right.
And as a LO, one of the most annoying calls you will get is, "What's your rate?" Right?
Yeah.
Well, I need a lot more information because we need it. Everybody has a different rate. There's not one just published rate that everybody gets. And yeah, they are they're traded just like a stock, right? There's technicals and fundamentals that make them go up and down. And all we can say at this point is tomorrow they'll either stay the same or go up or go down. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's telling you anything other than that, then
it's
they're
a
giving
lie.
you bad information. Yeah.
And just because you have a pre-approval that has, and how many people do you know that were shopping last year that still have their pre-approval letter and they say, I have a 4% rate, and you're like, you're not getting that rate.
Yeah, and not only that, your pre-approval letter's no good.
Yeah,
That's a little bit expired.
The rate on the pre-approval letter doesn't mean anything. That rate's not locked in until not only that you're in contract, because it doesn't even lock in the day you go in contract. In a lot of cases, it's a couple days later because you have to be disclosed.
Sure.
And
once
everything.
those disclosures go out. And I'm always so freaked out when my clients take forever to sign disclosures and I get calls from the lender like, your buyer needs to sign the disclosures. I'm like, we cannot lock until they're signed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, normally you can lock, and then we have actually a long-term lock option, so you can now lock today. Let's set that price, and you got 4 months to then go shop, right?
Oh.
And then if rates do come down, when you get them in contract, we'll lower that rate to where it is today. So there are some different options out there, but I mean,
that is a benefit of your company that's not everybody has.
Not everybody has that, so.
And you guys do help with closing costs as well.
We do. We have, with higher rates, it's becoming tougher and tougher because there are options. But we have, we're pushing one of the best interest rates on the street, with the lowest costs and with a lot of options. Look, I talked to a first-time home buyer yesterday, was freaked out. He's like, rates went up way too quick, way too fast. I don't think I'm going to do this now. And my message to him was, well, are you happy about rents going up as quickly as they did, right? Quicker in the history of the United States, right? And if we put you in this now, we can, lock your price. So if they go up, we protect you. And when they come down, because they will, no one knows for sure, you're going to be getting a call from me, and there hopefully will be a refinance opportunity for you, right? So, let's quit paying your landlord's mortgage and start paying yours,
Right. And that's the silver lining that so many people just are ignoring right now. They're so caught up in the rate. But the price is coming down. There's deals out there. There's opportunities to get your closing costs covered. There's opportunities to use seller's concession to buy down your rates. There's so many things going on right now where this rate isn't everything. And I've always been told and kind of stuck to the principle that you should do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Don't follow the herd. So right now, when there's not a lot of people buying, the buyers can get the best deals right now in this market. And that is, when people say, oh, I want to wait till January because rates might come down a little bit in January. And that's a guess, of course, but all I'm saying is that when they come down, don't you think that everybody's going to be wanting to buy then?
Sure.
Like, why do you want to buy with everybody else? You're buying in the midst of a bunch of competition.
Yeah.
Great point. Yeah, the best time to buy real estate was always 5 years ago, right?
Yes.
So you can keep waiting and waiting and waiting. But yeah, you're right. Like, rates will come down, right? They don't go up and down in a straight line. And, when inflation gets under control, and that most experts think it's kind of first quarter next year,
right?
That we'll start to see interest rates really start improving. That will level out the market,
Absolutely,
and that will make sellers not inclined to give you a lot of money towards your closing costs, right? So you're right, there are deals to be had right now,
Yeah.
And there's different options with like temporary buy downs where your first year you can be into 4s, and then the next year the 5s, and then the third year you're in the higher rate. But in the meantime, if rates
Within
go
the
down,
next 3 years,
we'll
yeah, you have
refinance you,
time.
and you never experience that. So there are great opportunities. You just have to be working with the right people to make sure.
These are
that
all
we
the
get these for you.
conversations that I'm
Yeah.
having with people right now who are on the fence about buying and who have to be financed for that purchase. And I'm just keep talking to them like, I know it seems like the sky is falling, but it's not. It's actually a really good time. The buyers that I'm getting into contract now are happy again, and I love that.
Yeah.
They're thrilled that they got closing costs. They're able to get into a house where 6 months ago, a year ago, they couldn't, even at the lower interest rates. So I'm talking to everybody in my circle and being like, hey, don't freak out. This is a good time.
And you may
Even
be
if
able to
they
get
dip.
the AC repaired and the roof fixed too.
Right,
which you
I
couldn't
love
do
that. No,
before.
I love that that condition is a consideration. I love that sellers are playing ball a little bit. I love that there's options out there for people. So, yeah, no, it's all good.
And you don't have to pay $40,000 over what the seller wants, right?
Right.
But now everybody's like, oh, it's a terrible time to buy. But
No.
I'll offer you $40,000 more than your house is worth. And that's a
Right,
great
they
time
thought
to
that
buy.
was a great time to
Yeah,
buy,
yeah,
and they're
so
coming out of pocket all of this cash, and I'm just
yeah.
shaking my head going, okay, we're on a roller coaster, just buckle up.
How long does a 2 or 3% rate hike take to cost you $40,000? I mean, that's years. The thing should adjust by then.
Yeah.
So I do think that now is the opportunity for people to buy, and they're missing out. The buyers right now are reminding me of the sellers that we were talking to a few months ago or earlier in the year or last year when we're saying, hey, now is the time to sell. And they're like, no, I'm going to wait.
No,
You're going to
don't wait.
for what?
No.
It's a good time. And the buyers right now, no, I'm going to wait. It's like, no, this is the time right now.
This is it.
This is it. This is your moment to shine, and they're just not doing it. So it's disturbing. And the people that are getting the best deals.
Yeah, but the people who are doing it now are very happy,
Yeah.
and I'm glad for them, and I'm very happy. Yay!
One of the things that I was, I guess my understanding in basic terms of how this, like the Fed, why, so many people are saying, why are they raising rates and why are they doing this and how does that help? It's not helping. The reason why is because our rates were so low that they have to, because the word recession's being thrown around a lot. Now there's a new word, housing recession, which isn't really a term, but now it's becoming a term. But these things are being thrown around in all of these ways. Inflation, we all know that we have some issues brewing. Our rates were so low that if they didn't, they have to raise them to be able to drop them to boost activity. Right? So
Right.
if we hit a deeper recession and the rates are at 3%, they can't drop them to zero.
They can't go anywhere.
It doesn't give them anywhere to adjust to boost activity. So the reason of raising them so high is so that they have a spot to adjust when things get, if things get bad. Is that correct? Is that a good way of explaining it?
Yeah, sure. So and again, they're raising rates just to curb inflation, right? So mortgage rates, why they're going up is because of inflation, right? Because like you alluded to, they're a bond, okay? So when we pull all these mortgages together, we package them in mortgage-backed securities, right? And then investors buy them, right? So they receive these payments as income streams, right? Well, now when the cost of goods goes up, right, those payment streams aren't worth as much, right? So you have to counterbalance with higher interest rates to coordinate that, right? So that's what's happening with mortgage rates. Now the Fed, when they're raising the Fed funds rate, well, yeah, they're trying to get ahead of conflation, right? To stop the spending and get, literally it's going to put us in a recession. So they're walking a fine balance of doing this without putting us in a recession, but they have done a very poor job, right? So in the beginning of this,
Tell us how you really feel.
When people, that were way less smart than them thought that this inflation was getting out of control, their stance was it was just transitory and it would work itself out. So if they would have got ahead of this sooner, we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in now. And now, as the Fed always does, they overreact. And now kind of that's what's spooking the markets right now. Like they're literally going to just jam us into a recession, right? So, and it's not, recessions aren't typically bad for sales, home sales.
Right.
I mean, if you looked at all the recessions besides the, one we created, house values have either stayed the same or gone up. Now we're in a different market right now. I mean, before this, we didn't have 2 years of crazy appreciation. So it's just a lot of unknowns. But the thing we do know is the Fed, they don't always do the right thing, and I think that's why the markets are spooked right now.
Right. Another thing that I come across a lot, or have recently, is buyers that are like, no, I'm going to wait. And the question is, okay, you're going to wait for rates to drop. That means prices will raise. So you're going to wait to buy a home at a higher price at a lower rate.
With more competition.
Right. Or, the people that say, I'm going to wait for it to crash. What if it doesn't? So how long? Are you going to wait forever? And what if rates don't drop? Does that mean that you're never going to buy, or are you going to wait for them to go to 10%? They could.
Hey, it's been known to happen. It's gone higher.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's your idea of the perception of people that are just like, hey, I'm waiting. What are you waiting for? Like, do you feel like there'll be a better deal later on down the road? Do you really?
Yeah.
I personally do not think that homes are going to drop. And right now, the adjustment that we're seeing, it was a necessary adjustment. They were overpriced. I think where we're at right now, and the numbers of inventory staying the same week over week for the past couple of months have been hovering right under 8,000. I think that's an indicator that this is where we're going to be.
Yeah. No, and that's exactly what I was going to say. The fact that supply is leveling out right now
and it is
a good thing. So when, I think when people start to see now, instead of, oh gosh, the review journal saying property values are going down, the sky's falling, right? And we just leveling out, right? And then if interest rates can start to come down, it really will spark some more activity. But yeah, I mean, people are scared. Interest rates are high. Property values are coming down. We get it. But again, you're never going to pick a top or bottom.
Right, you're never going to hit that sweet spot.
If you're getting a good deal now, you can afford the payment, and you're going to be in the house for the next 5 years. You're going to make a sound investment, right? And we show them like a rental calculator versus own, and just using a pretty fair average of a 4% appreciation. Somebody that's buying a house today at like $450,000. When they go to sell that in 7 to 9 years, that's literally like $250,000 that they will have made between the appreciation, and the amortization that they paid into and everything else. So, again, the best time to buy is always 5 years ago. So Quit waiting. If you find the house that you like, make the move, marry the home, date the rate, rates will come down, and there will be refinance opportunities for you.
Right. And there
100%.
usually always is. Yeah. And have you ever heard of someone over, let's say 30 years, just like going the whole term of a mortgage? Have you ever heard of a situation in someone with a 30-year mortgage that did not, the home value never appreciated at all over 30 years?
It doesn't even happen over 10 years.
Yeah, yes. But, I mean, going even extreme, that they would have been better off paying rent for that 30 years and made more money and built more wealth for themselves. And that would have been a better financial situation, regardless of whatever the terms of that mortgage is. It's never happened. I've never heard of that.
No.
Yeah, and it never will. I mean, real estate goes like this, but it doesn't just go like this. It goes like this, right?
Right.
But it's always around that 4%, and we were way under that, and then now because of the last 2 years, we're kind of dipping over that. We're just correcting right now. I mean, this is what happens, right? So again, if you get a good deal, you like the payments, you like the house, there's no reason not to buy right now.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Get off the fence, people.
Yep.
You're making bad decisions.
Don't make bad decisions. Only make the good ones.
Yeah, for sure. And sellers, even right now, that I was at a signing the other day with the seller, and they were just a little, walking away with like $150,000 in proceeds, but just like, we wish we would have sold a few months ago. And I'm like, you're not writing a check, because when I started real estate in 2014, there was people writing a check to sell.
Oh, yeah.
To sell.
Right.
To sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I have a case right now where they'd purchased a new construction at the height of the market, and then they had family troubles and have to move on, and now they have to sell, and the homes that are still being built in the community are less expensive, brand new, than what they have, and the only shining light is like, hey, your house is already built, and they won't have to have that wait time, and who knows what's going to happen in the market in the next few months. Those prices could dip. Let's just get this house sold for you so you can move on. But for the most part, I don't have a lot of sob stories right now in real estate. Everything's happy.
Right. And in that case, it was short term. I mean,
Yeah,
real
no,
estate
it just
is
was
not
a fluke.
Yeah.
It was just a fluke.
Yeah, real estate was never intended to be a short term investment.
Nope.
Nope.
Even though there's people that have
Yeah, look,
capitalized.
if you're planning to do this to flip in 1 year, don't buy, right?
Yeah.
But if you're planning to stay and hold this house for the next 3 to 5 years,
Yeah, they're only 3
You're gonna
months
be
into
okay.
it, but it's always a long-term hold. Always.
How are sellers now? Are they becoming more realistic, or are they still thinking the house is 3 months ago?
We still have those. I've got into, and sometimes I'm not really that good with firm putting down my hand and just being like no. But I've got into the spot where I'm like, it's a waste of my time.
Well, I was going to say, you might
it
have
is.
to, because
Yeah.
what's the point? You're just wasting both of your times, right? And only going to get mad at you because it's your fault.
Right,
Even though
yeah.
you've tried to explain
My
to them,
fault.
like, this is what it's worth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is over the last few years as realtors, which I feel so bad for the realtors that are, the new realtors that have just started real estate over the last couple of years, because they don't even have any idea of what marketing a home is like or what to do. You're clueless. You have to learn it's hard for us that have been around for a little while. So, but over the last few years, it's been like, okay, that price isn't really what your house is going to sell for, and I know it's not, but we'll work it out. We'll adjust.
Right, but you still sell it for close to that, right?
Yeah,
Within one day.
We'll work it out. It's not, it's not something that it's not going to prevent your home from selling. We're in a market now where overpricing will stop your home from selling. You don't want to be doing those price reductions every week. You want to get the price right in the beginning. Not that you're not going to have to do price reductions, because the market is changing pretty quickly, but we've got to price aggressively. I'm suggesting pricing below.
I always love a price
the previous comps, because that's going to attract buyers. You do not want to be sitting around in this market.
Well, it's the only way you can really create a excitement and frenzy in this market too, is people want the deal. Everybody wants the deal. Now we have buyers out there, and they're like, they want the right house at the right price, and this is the only way you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a struggle with sellers right now, getting them on the right track. But there's some sellers that they're motivated when they contact me. They're motivated, and
Life events now.
yeah, life
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
They have to, and it is really it's a pleasure to work with them. We know that there's no option of them not selling, and they're going to do what it takes and take our advice, which is always the biggest struggle. Buyers, sellers, everything. I'm sure you have that struggle where buyers are making bad decisions, and you're just saying, please just listen to me, and that is something that we come across a lot, especially now.
Yeah.
100%.
I think now my clients really know me and trust me. So, and my blunt honesty, right? I'm pretty
Well, if you're not
harsh when I
doing that,
talk
you're really
to
not
them.
doing your job. You're just an order taker, and you're not giving them the best. You know what I mean? Just letting them. And we see that all the time on our end. So you have to move on if it's not going to be the right fit.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And with things changing, they're back to, sellers where everything was so easy to sell. They were basically telling us what to do, and now they're
Sure.
like, hey, what do I need to do?
Right.
And that's changed, which I appreciate a lot. It's putting more value into us as professionals.
It's a skill-based market right now, for sure.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to help people.
Yeah.
So it's very nice. So if somebody wanted your help, how would they get a hold of you, Dustin?
Well, great. Yeah, you can reach me at 702-462-8270. That's our office line. There's our email address, and I thank you both for having me. This was amazing.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming
Dustin.
in,
Thanks for
especially
coming
on
on the
that
show.
announcement yesterday with the feds. Explain it to our customers.
Sorry for the bad
Quiet.
news.
No, it's not bad news.
Quick question, which I'm sure that people are going to wonder out there. You're with Keller Mortgage. Do you have to be a Keller Williams agent to be able to use Keller Mortgage? Because Keller Mortgage has some great benefits. No underwriting costs, no...
Is it still loan origination fees?
Loan,
that are-
Yeah.
loan
So-
origination
Yeah.
fees. You know the
Yeah,
terms.
you do not. We work with everybody. Yeah, so
Yeah.
So I was actually, prior to Keller, I joined in March. I was at Nova Home Loans for 12 years, ran that company, top producer, had a great job, and the Keller Mortgage presented itself, the opportunity, and it was amazing. The vision, the technology that they have, and the platforms and all the opportunities that are created by being associated with Keller were too good to pass up, and it's been great. So they do things unlike any other company. We underwrite everything up front. The communication, the tools that we have are second to none, making the borrower experience, to that next level. But yeah, as far as, being competitive with, interest rates and fees and everything else, we blow everybody out, and we work with everybody. So whether you're a Keller Williams agent or anybody else, we're happy to work with you. And we created what's called the first elite branch in the country, and now there's two. And
Wow.
it's been a great ride so far. Now, if just
Good.
interest rates will start coming down, it'll be a lot better for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you guys are looking for a mortgage, and you're looking to get financing and get a great deal with all of your upfront costs and everything, give Dustin a call, and he'll be able to help you out. And if you are looking for real estate advice, you can contact myself or Tiana. I'm at 702-308-2878.
And I'm at 702-379-9948.
All right. If you're watching the show, like, comment, download, tell your friends about it. If you download us on iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon, you'll get notified every week when we post a new show. And we'll see you next week on Realty Check.
Have a great week, guys.
Thanks.